Hey everybody, welcome back. Ready for another episode? Debs, how you been?
I've been good. I should say welcome back to you from your holiday.
As you can see, my lovely glowing tan. Yeah.
Did you go any darker?
I think I did, especially like my
Yeah.
parts of my body that never get any sunlight, like my legs. Like they've actually like kind of like I was saying, now I've got tan lines like around like where if I wore short shorts. Now I've got tan lines up until to the middle of my thighs,
Okay.
and like my arms, and then I got weird vest marks on my chest.
Oh, interesting.
I think a
Bit
day,
mixy.
yeah, I think a day at the water park did help even everything out a little bit.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah, it was good. It was good fun. We didn't go to the main one in Tenerife, which is called Siam Park. We went to one called Aqualand. It's a little bit smaller, a bit more quiet.
Yeah.
It was luckily obviously for like price wise, with everyone that we took with us, it sort of made sense in regards to going to Aqualand rather than Siam Park. Because
Yeah.
after like the few people who were doing slides did their slides, the people who weren't doing it were like bored.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, can we go now?
Yeah. It is a little bit like that, isn't it?
Yeah, so it was like we had few too many personalities to deal with, when you go to family.
How was everybody? Were you very strict that everybody had to do the same thing?
We weren't. It's just that
Oh, good.
everybody wanted to do the same thing.
Oh,
No,
okay.
they didn't want to do the same thing. It's that some people just didn't have any get up and go to do their own thing, so they sort of like joined in with what you were doing.
Just tagged along with
Yeah, yeah,
your decisions.
yeah. So it wasn't really heck, I didn't even make any decisions. I was just like, okay, okay, all right, okay, taxi there.
Sure
Okay.
thing.
So,
But it was nice the whole week.
yeah, it was nice to get away. Nice not to have to get up at godforsaken time in the morning, normally as usual, to go to work. But it's all right. I'm back at work now, which is my time to have a holiday from the family. So
True. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how were the croissants?
the croissants were, I'd say, one day they brought out mini croissants, which took it up to about an 8.
Okay.
Generally, they were about a 5. You know,
Oh, so not like
yeah, they
made
weren't.
in France croissants,
No, no,
sorry.
no. They weren't great. They were very much the ones that you buy in the packet, and they just both.
Oh, what? So they're already a bit soft rather than
Yeah,
like
yeah,
freshly made out the oven, bit crispy.
yeah. So even if you added like a
Yeah.
bit of butter to them to like bring out the flavors, like no, I'm just
Still not the perfect texture.
no, no. So
Oh,
I
well.
think I'm gonna have to go to that place in Kensington and get that like giant croissant just to make up for it.
Yeah. As you're well done for surviving the
Yes.
holiday.
Yeah, yeah, Tenerife is cool. Obviously, we did a few things. Went to like a monkey park, which was cool.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, saw some really really cool monkeys, and they had like orangutans, and they had these howler monkeys, and they were so loud.
Yeah. They do live up to their name, don't
Yeah,
they?
they were insanely loud. I took a I took a video of them like swinging around, and I did it to the say his words.
I wish one of them had looked at you when you
Yeah,
said
no.
and you were
So
like,
I
hang
wanted
on.
to do I wanted to do like a TikTok in there, but I felt really embarrassed, especially because like my 9-year-old stepdaughter, her boyfriend, he was there, and I was gonna get him to film it, but I thought, you know what, some people just can't get into character.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm sure loads of people were doing TikToks.
Yeah, because there's this drawbridge thing. And I want to walk across there, like doing it. What a
Oh,
wonderful day.
you need to find a little bridge in like a garden or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. I can show my athleticism. That's fleeting, but yeah.
Momentary, but there.
Yeah.
Oh,
How's
I'm glad you had a good time.
Catch the 5K?
Oh, good. So I've done 25 minutes
Okay,
now.
cool. Yeah.
Mhm. So I'm week 7, and that is 3 25-minute runs. However, I did skip runs 1 and 2 of week 6 because it went back to splitting it out. And I felt
Okay.
once I'd done the 20, I didn't want to go back.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to keep going. Otherwise, I think I might have,
Yeah.
question myself. So I did a 25, and then now I've realised that, which was the last one of week 6.
Yeah.
And I've done week 7 run 1, so I've got another 2, and then I'm assuming it goes to 28 or 30 the next one.
Okay.
The point is to run for 30 of the
Yeah.
whole thing, and there's 9 full weeks. So
Okay.
yeah, I bought some new running trainer.
Ah, cool. Cool.
And some knee supports, because honestly, it's not. And they were amazing. Like,
Yeah.
they did have really good reviews. They go just underneath like your patella.
Is it the little strap ones? Tiny strap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I've seen
a
them.
little bit of Velcro. And honestly, I felt really good when I was running. It hasn't stopped how much it hurts after the running,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's supposed to. I think it's just supposed to help get you through, so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
keep
Yeah. Yeah.
doing it. So
Is there
yeah, I was,
anything in them? Is it just the strap, or is it have those sort of magnetic sort of things in there that's supposed to
well,
help
it's
with like?
Velcro, and
Okay.
there's something on the front.
Yeah, I've seen that bit. What? I just wonder what it is.
I don't know what's in it.
Okay.
But there's definitely something, because it's really only my right leg.
Yeah.
So where you say that's my kneecap,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the inside of my leg. It's there, which
Okay.
I tried to look at pictures and stuff, and I can't tell if it's like a tendon
Yeah.
or
It could
a
be a bit of,
ligament. I'm not
yeah,
sure
it could
which
be
one what's causing the problem, but
it could be a ligament. I think what you need to do is obviously most of the time is try and do. It's very hard to stretch the knee,
yeah.
but there are obviously there's the basic stretches, and obviously what you should do is try and stretch the sides. So it's like the what they call the IT bands. So
Oh yeah.
if you get yourself like a foam roller or maybe like a
Mhm.
tennis ball, maybe a cricket ball, and run that down the outsides of your legs,
Okay.
that should normally ease up the pressure on
Oh,
on
because
the knees.
like I can walk on it fine,
Yeah, yeah,
but if I'm sitting on the sofa
yeah,
and my legs are out on like
yeah,
a stool,
yeah,
and then I try to bend that leg, I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
really
Yeah,
hurts.
yeah. So yeah, I think you might need to just work and loosen up the IT bands for,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
maybe just the calves as well. So
Yeah.
everything that runs in towards the knee. So you just need to sort of
Yeah. It
work those
definitely
ankles.
seemed like it was going down like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that hopefully should help.
Yeah. And it's only post after, like I say,
Yeah.
like afterwards, but it didn't used to hurt.
Yeah. I saw a great meme the other day. It was saying like, "What's your greatest childhood memory?" And there's a guy saying, "When my back didn't hurt."
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't go, oh, when I stand up or sit down.
Yeah.
Same, mate, same.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Oh, but at least I'm still doing it, which is good. So
Exactly. All right. So top three.
yeah, back to
Yeah.
our normal
Yeah, normal agenda or
yeah.
schedule. Um, so this one was a good one. Sandra Bullock
Who we love.
has another huge catalog of movies.
Mm,
Like some, obviously, I love Sandra Bullock, but there's a lot of films that I didn't see, which were like, probably super like maybe dare I say girly,
yeah,
or
bit cheesy, bit
a
girly.
bit cheesy,
Yeah.
which I missed. But the few that I did watch, are, are good. I enjoy her acting.
Yeah.
I
She's done a lot
enjoy
more
what,
serious stuff the
yeah,
older she's got and the more into producing she's got.
yeah.
But done some great rom-coms, you know.
No, she's done some great work, and like she can be when she starts to be funny or a little bit silly, she can be hilarious because you just don't expect it out of her.
Yeah. And she's done a good few serious ones as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Especially yeah, you said in the last few years,
Yeah.
she's really dug deep into like that sort of that like that darker bag, so to speak.
Mm.
So I have a lot of honorable mentions.
Yes. So I've kind of got like a top 4, because my
Yeah,
number 2 is 2 separate films that are not related,
yeah, because
but I love them both for different reasons. And I don't want to change my number 1.
yeah,
And my number 3 is one of the serious ones, which I wanted to get in there. So,
yeah. So I'm keeping my top two.
okay.
My number three was a tough one because it's the one that there's a few of them that I mentioned in previous weeks,
I've
which
put
she's had.
those in my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've had to bump my number three.
10 honorable mentions.
Yeah.
And again, again, not the best films in the world, but all films that I've watched and enjoyed
Yeah.
are
So do you
in.
want to go with your number three?
Okay, yes. So my number three is the serious one,
Yeah.
and it's called The Unforgivable.
What a film. What a
What a
great film.
film. What a cracking twist.
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it?
I was literally like, oh my God, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
No, oh my God. And then was like, oh, she's so lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. John
Yeah,
Bernthald's in it. Like Vincent D'Onofrio,
yeah,
Viola Davis.
yeah. Like, is this a really good
Yeah, yeah.
cast?
It's
And
just
she's and it's dark,
yeah,
and it's sad. And she does such a good job at hiding it,
yeah.
you
It's
know?
yeah. It is very like heart-wrenching. It's like,
Yeah, really is hard.
and you can see like obviously she went away for a long time.
Long time.
But then and I know you can't like, I know a lot of people say you can't sympathize with people who do certain things, but it's like
Oh, you
sometimes,
definitely could in that though, couldn't you? I
yeah,
think.
sometimes people are put under a lot of pressure,
Oh my God.
and
Yeah, I don't think
when it
anybody
comes
would
to
have
like,
held it against.
when it comes to like family and stuff like that, you can be like almost pushed to like a breaking point.
And for me, any consistent type of abuse,
Yeah,
like constant verbal,
yeah,
mental bullying, as well as physical.
yeah,
And I just think, I'm sorry, whoever's doing that's fucking got it coming.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing. But yeah, she's absolutely brilliant in that movie.
Really good. And the thing is, you were so sad all the way through because
Yeah,
of it.
yeah,
And then you were even sadder because of, I don't want to spoil it if
yeah,
people haven't seen
yeah.
it. It has
Yeah.
been out for a while,
It's been
but
out a while.
it's even sadder when you realize what she actually did.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Then it's one of
yeah.
those things where if obviously, spoiler, obviously if you harm a police officer, especially police officers do hold a grudge.
And many of them have been proven to be absolute wankers.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
you know,
all.
yeah. So yeah, great, great,
Yes. So
great film. So my
yeah,
number
solid three.
three, I had to bump again. It's another film which she's in, a very dark film. Um,
Oh,
Again, it involves cops which are absolutely terrible, and it was A Time to Kill. She was in it,
that was in my mentions. Yeah. Really good
and
film.
she's like a sort of DA or whatever, and she is like she plays
She's
a
fresh, isn't she? She's like a
yeah,
new DA, yeah.
yeah, and it's like like really dripping dark story, you know.
Again, where you don't mind what the crime was.
Yeah,
You're absolutely like,
yeah,
do it,
okay,
mate. Get
yeah,
away with it. Do it. If
yeah,
you could do it.
yeah. Definitely an eye for an eye story, but it's definitely those eyes definitely needed to be put down.
Yeah. Oh my God. And again, great cast. Matthew McConaughey, Samuel L.
Samuel
Jackson.
Jackson, yeah,
And again, he's not playing a clever guy
no,
or, a good looking chap. It's
yeah,
down in the South, like,
yeah, Mississippi, yeah,
oh my God. And again,
at a
you see
time,
some of it,
yeah, at a time
but
when things were very, very raw,
yeah.
you know, and it's weird because it's not weird, but obviously the time it was set the year I was born, so it's like
Oh
nuts.
my God, that's not even that long ago, right? When you
Yeah,
think about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very long time ago, but it's when I
Yeah, but
think
in the
about
grand scheme of where
yeah,
we are
yeah,
now,
exactly,
like, yeah, it's such a good film. It's so tense and it's heartbreaking. But
yeah,
what happens,
yeah,
even if you don't see all of it,
yeah,
the horror, what has happened
yeah,
and how, and again, I'm not a parent, right?
yeah,
I'm
oh
also,
yeah,
also nothing horrible like that happened to me when I was little or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
And I just think when you try to empathize with those characters, it's
yeah.
just horrific.
Yeah. Any police watching? Not that I would do anything like that at all if anything happened to my kids ever.
But honestly, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good film.
But yeah, she was great in it. Like I said, as an antagonist, I know you're not really supposed to say good things about this guy, but Kevin Spacey is a fucking actor.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Like he really grinds your gears in this movie, but like it just shows how fucking good he was.
Yeah. Oh, and it goes to show how unfair even the justice system can be at
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
Like when they were contemplating like not having like a jury of peers or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
and
yeah.
just like, how is this even allowed? Like, how is this even fair?
But it's been like that for years, and it probably still happens now.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So, and it's
yeah,
easy.
there's a lot of films that remind me that that is how,
Yeah,
certainly it definitely used to be. You
yeah,
hope
yeah.
that it's better, but, and you just think, how on earth was that ever allowed?
Part of life.
Ever?
Yeah,
Whew.
and obviously you had Kiefer Sutherland, and obviously you had the late great Donald
Oh,
Sutherland
yeah, it was
in it as
great.
well.
Yeah.
And
There's a few deaths, isn't
yeah,
there, that I sent you where you were away. I was
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah. So yeah, well, great film for me.
yes,
What
very
was
good.
your number two?
So my number two is my joint number two,
Okay.
because I'm allowed.
I think I know. Is it? Okay, go on.
They're both very girly.
Yeah.
Um, and the first one is Miss Congeniality,
Yeah.
because I love them. And the second one is Practical Magic, because it's about
Okay.
sisters.
I can't say that I've seen Practical Magic. I can't think what happens in that one.
It's great. So they are like witches in
Okay.
modern day,
Yeah.
and they were raised by their aunts who were like, well, yeah, but they don't really believe that they've got much power, or they don't ever use it. But they were raised by their aunts who were like practicing witches.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, in the daily life, you wouldn't look at them and go, "Oh, it's a witch with
Yeah.
her black cap and cloak or whatever." However, they've been cursed to never find true love, and
Okay.
so it's obviously a love story,
Yeah.
both between the men and also the sisters, not
Okay.
in that way, but
Yeah. Yeah.
the sister
Yeah.
love
Okay.
way. Um,
It's
and
not nowadays. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so bad things happen to the people they fall in love with. And
Yeah.
so like they even die. So it's
Mm.
really sad. But then you've got this cop who's like trying to investigate, but he really falls for Sandra.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
genuinely thinks like the body is obviously buried in the garden
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff of the sisters. So, dude, it's really good. It's really good.
Okay.
And there's obviously magic, and there's lovely sisters, and
Yeah.
they're there for each other. So yeah,
Like it should be. Yeah.
exactly like they should be. And me and my sister used to love it.
Yeah.
And Miss Congeniality, I don't care what
Yeah.
anybody says, they are
Yeah.
such good fun.
It's so funny. Like that one scene
Brilliant.
when she just has her finally does her glow up, and she's walking along in that purple dress. Oh my God.
She literally looks incredible, doesn't she?
Yeah.
But then she doesn't mind being the whole
Yeah.
tracky,
Yeah.
head up,
Yeah.
snorty, snuffly.
Yeah. And she played that character a few times. Like, like say like the film The Heat. She does the same thing again.
Yeah,
Plays that sort of agent, like sort of like, it just works for her.
it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So Miss
And I
Congeniality.
like that she's willing to go there.
And obviously, your boy Benjamin Bratt is in there as well.
Love him.
Yeah.
Love a little bit of Benji. Obviously, he does come to his senses.
Yeah.
And I like Michael Caine's character.
Oh yeah, he's brilliant.
He's
He's
just
an absolute
wonderful with her.
he's an absolute legend in that. What am I going to do with this?
So yeah, great fun.
Yeah. So my number two,
Better
I
not.
have mentioned it. I haven't mentioned it on in our top three yet, but I have spoke about it because one of the characters I want to do for Comic-Con, and it is Demolition Man.
Oh yes, of course, because I'm gonna go as her.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, obviously a film that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed like the action. It is super. It is definitely a Sly Stallone early 90s movie because obviously it
Yeah.
is like it is cheese.
Oh, but I reckon it's still good.
Yeah, oh, it's still a great, it's still a good
At
watch.
the time, it was brilliant.
It's definitely a good watch. It's one that if it was remade now, it could be made insane.
Well, yeah, because it was the one with the cars that drive themselves,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, that was so forward thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably
Although I
like,
did see something, a silly little thing on TikTok today where they said 2024, not seen any Jetson cars flying
yeah,
around.
yeah. Well, I was watching that thing with Elon Musk, and it's true though. He's talking about like, there's no point really having flying cars because the amount of power that they'll need to generate to
Yeah.
lift themselves off off the ground.
Yeah, we'd
And
have to charge it for like 17 hours just to get a lift off.
yeah, and most of the twats I see driving around most days, yeah, I don't think they could be around a flying car.
No.
There'll be no buildings left.
Yeah, there'd be wrecked chimneys and everything.
Yeah, unless it flies itself, and it just like, and they find a way to like generate enough power of like a gyroscope or something to get,
Mm,
unless someone can actually develop the arc reactor from Iron Man, I think they need to leave flying cars alone.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Demolition Man for me, fun film. Obviously the character that I would like to cosplay as, Simon Phoenix, obviously being brought back to life after being frozen in 1990, it was 1996 he was frozen, bringing back in
Gosh.
2032. And it's just like, they've got rid of like violent crime, and all of a sudden,
Yeah, like everything's so much better, isn't it? And
yeah, yeah.
chill.
And then they let this freak out who has been caged up, and obviously everyone's all, well, you know what? There's a high chance that this could happen because they're making everyone so wimpy now. There's a
Yeah.
chance that if they did freeze anyone who was born in like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, if they did freeze any of them and brought them back in like 40 years, they probably could overpower the whole population.
And do we even they do it a lot, right? It's
Yeah,
this cryogenics,
yeah, people are doing it.
and people do it with their eggs.
Yeah, yeah.
So has anybody actually been brought back
I'm not too sure because
from
obviously I think
freezing?
the most famous person who's currently on fire or on ice is Walt Disney, isn't he?
Really?
Yeah, apparently so.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I don't know if you want to bring him back. He had some very idealistic thoughts when he was around. And supported a certain party, which
Maybe
which
not
I
in your
yeah.
life.
So I don't know if they should actually bring him back.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if it will happen.
Yeah, yeah. But the way how everyone's becoming so wimpy now, and strength is a is a is more of a curse now, apparently.
I mean,
Yeah. I'm sure in like, I don't know, who knows, in like 25 years, they'll be like, gyms. Ugh.
oh God, could you imagine? What would they do? What will they do?
Lifting weights. Ugh. It'll be like everyone just like, they're trying to turn people into like, you ever seen the film Wall-E?
As in the little, yeah, with like Wally,
Why?
with
Yeah,
Eva.
and
Yeah, love
people
it.
people are just like really out of shape jellyfish who just sit on those floating chairs.
Oh my God, we're going to have to do like a top five animations one time, aren't
Yeah,
we?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, because they just zoom around on
No,
those
no, yeah,
chairs.
they
Yeah,
just tap, and everything just comes to them.
they don't
Yeah,
even walk anywhere. Yeah.
no, that won't be me, mate.
Which is fine if you were having like a nutritious meal and then your
Yeah,
chair
yeah,
did what your machines do for
yeah,
you
yeah,
and
yeah.
like worked your muscles.
Yeah.
But
No, and that you just sort of turn into a jellyfish.
yes, they were quite
Yeah, so for me, Demolition Man was my number two. Sandra
nice.
was good in that.
Cool. Wow, my absolute favorite,
Yeah.
I would say, a little bit of a sports movie.
Okay, I think we might have the same one, but
Have you got the blind side?
I do have The Blind Side as my number one.
Oh, it's so good.
It is like sometimes you do want to watch like a heartwarming movie, and that one does fit the bill.
Oh, and she is, I just love her character in it.
Yeah,
She's so forthright. She's so helpful. She knows how to explain stuff to him to help him. She's
yeah,
empathetic. She's, a little bit pushy, but not too much.
yeah,
She's very family orientated.
yeah. They did obviously being a fan of the NFL. and obviously Michael Orr, who the guy is based on,
Mhm.
uh, Super Bowl champion, played for the Baltimore Ravens. Um, Obviously they did make him very simple
Okay.
in the movie. You know,
Is he not
he's
quite
I wouldn't
like
say he's
that?
as simple as Big Mike. No.
Okay. Okay. Did you think maybe they just made Big Mike a quieter? Or
Yeah, I think obviously I think they tried to pull on some heartstrings, just tried to
mm,
just made him like this massive giant who's who's just like just physical. But
yeah, because without the talking, people automatically assume that you are a bit dumb, don't
yeah,
they? I
and
guess it comes from the whole we still say, I guess we say people can't speak anymore rather than
yeah,
saying normally it was deaf and dumb, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Regards to hearing and yeah,
yeah.
talking.
So
Um,
obviously with him, obviously they tried to say like his trauma made him like, more sort of into himself, like more like
yeah,
sort of
regressed. Yeah.
regressed. Yeah. But yeah, so and obviously, but and I think when you play for the NF in the NFL, you can be focused on your sport. They say sometimes say athletes are dumb, but athletes when they're doing what they do best are literally
On
geniuses,
it.
savants. It's
On
just
it.
yeah, it's just other things in life
There's
just didn't.
so much you need to know.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's just other things in life that you just haven't paid attention to.
yeah, because your focus has gone on that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
obviously he started a bit later, and obviously he's a huge man,
Mm.
and the position that he played in the NFL is one of the toughest positions there is, and that's like left tackle. So
In terms of physicality.
he's protecting the quarterback's like blindside. That's why it's called blindside. So
Ah.
if your quarterback's
They've just
right-handed,
got to peg it and he's
yeah,
got
yeah,
to stop them all.
yeah. So if the quarterback's right-handed, most of the time he's going to drop back to his turn his left shoulder forward so he can launch the ball. So everything that's happening behind
Yeah.
him, he has no idea what's going on, and he needs his left tackle, his guard, and his center to protect him.
Uh,
And yeah,
well, they're
so
like babies.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, especially now. Back in the day, quarterbacks
Quarterbacks.
used to get destroyed. And like now, obviously, you touch them with a finger, that they get a penalty and all that sort of stuff,
Uh,
and they just crumble. But yeah, so to obviously being an NFL fan, it was great to watch that film.
mm.
Obviously, at the time, you're kind of like, oh, yeah, you're more like, rather than like
Yeah.
this guy could actually push a truck if he wanted to.
Yeah. And I guess I didn't know about him in real life.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't have a comparison, but I think, yeah, for everybody that did, it can be a bit awkward sometimes, can't
And
it?
obviously with if you I'm not sure if they ever did a photo of the actor and the real guy together.
Oh
But
yeah, because they do that cool thing at the end where they showed the real family
yeah,
and him,
if you
didn't they?
see the
Yeah.
size of the real guy, I'm sure he's what I think he's 6'8",
Okay.
and he's probably about 27, 28 stone. Yeah, not someone you want to run into at all.
And did he come across as like a gentle giant when he wasn't playing? Or did
Yeah,
you
I
not
think he
see
was
him
just very
like,
quiet. I think he was very quiet. It was you'll never know because you'll never get into their locker rooms to know exactly what he's like. But he was
yeah,
very
yeah.
he did seem very quiet. He was very reserved. He was reserved. He seemed very educated.
Mm,
So obviously, The Blind Side probably did him a little bit of disjustice there. But what a great film about
yeah.
loosely
And
based
I
on.
would hope, do they have to get like agreement from them to do it?
They did, but there's currently I heard last year that there's a lawsuit where he's actually suing the family because
Oh,
he
sugar.
didn't receive enough royalties for the story.
Oh, right.
And apparently, because he was in I think it's called he's on like a guardianship. They had control of most of the money that came from the movie.
Oh, I
So
see.
I think he's currently suing them for a portion of that money. So yeah, in real life, obviously.
Yeah, it's sad when it comes down to that, but
Yeah.
hopefully it all works out.
Yeah, hopefully it works
Because
out. Obviously, the thing is obviously
love her in
with
that
the
film.
NFL, their contracts are some if you're the top dogs, you're the top dog. If you're not the top dog, depending on how you're financially set up and your financial literacy, that money that they give you to start off with can dwindle very fast.
Mm,
So I don't know if he's having financial difficulty or he's just like, realized that, he's been shortchanged in the situation.
yeah.
But, it's a tough one. You don't know the real story. All we know is the blind side story of this rich family that took him in and pushed him to, pushed him forward. They
Yeah.
gave him an
Give
opportunity.
him a hand.
Yeah. So we just don't know really. But hey,
No.
what a,
But
what
we
a movie.
like the film.
What a movie. What a movie.
Yeah, really, really like it. And love
All
her.
right. Some honorable mentions.
Oh, yes. So I have got Bird Box in there.
Yeah, Bird Box was an interesting movie.
It was really different, and that's
Yeah,
what I liked about it. Yeah. Because it
you
made
know,
me think, like, if I had to wear a blindfold for whatever reason,
yeah,
like, how do you suddenly, especially when you've
been
had
used to seeing it.
sight?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But how she kind of detached herself from the kids,
yeah,
protect them almost like by not naming them.
yeah, yeah,
Um, it was a real, it made me think, and I liked that.
yeah. I remember when everyone was doing like the Bird Box challenge, trying to do stuff like with the blindfold one.
Yeah, and it's really hard.
Yeah, it's like really, it is kind of sad. Like, well, it's not really sad, but obviously because a lot of people, obviously people are blind, and they get how they deal with like daily life and stuff. And there's people
It's
who and people who,
insane how they get used to it and do
yeah,
it and can live on their own and
yeah,
comfortably do things that we don't I would never think that I could do half of that stuff.
no, and
I
like
can
just
see.
to if you could like be Daredevil, it'd be maybe fine, but like, without that, it's
It must
like,
be hard not to be scared,
yeah.
I think.
Of course, you just don't know what's happening, or like you see them like see
Exactly.
someone like,
Certainly until you're a bit more used to it. But
especially when I'm around London and you just see someone who's blind walking around, they've got the stick or whatever, or you can tell that they're just partially blind and only, they can only see like blurs and stuff like that.
are people
London is
cautious of them or not?
London
As
is
in,
a
are they
crazy.
careful? Like I would
Some
move
people
out
are,
of the way.
some people are, like
Yeah.
London is everyone's like sort of stuck up their own arse, so it's kind of like do you not notice? And it's like, yeah, it'd be and I remember that was one of my fears for because I had a friend when I was younger and his sister was born blind, and it's like
Gosh.
it's kind of like they never like get to see anything, it's like
Yeah.
it's nuts. And then that was one of my fears for like when my kids were born, like I was just like checking everything, like checking, counting the fingers, counting the toes,
Yeah. Even
wanting to
though
know.
they don't know any different if you're born
No,
with it. Like
no,
that's
that,
the crazy thing.
yeah,
We feel like they're missing out, but it's totally normal for
yeah,
them.
yeah,
Um,
wanting to know if they react to sounds, wanting to react to
yeah.
and just
Yeah, the
if
light of the finger and
yeah,
stuff.
so it's one of those crazy things, like obviously because of my friends with his sister, because of his sister, obviously when I had kids, I was kind of like, okay, can they see me? Can they like are they responding? Like, it's like
Yeah.
not that there'd be anything wrong,
No,
obviously, but
no, but
you'd adapt,
you want everything for
yeah,
your child though, don't you?
you'd
Yeah.
adapt to it, but it's like just that initial fear.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so yeah, Bird Box was cool. The ending could have been a little bit more, could have been a bit more in keeping with the movie, but
Yeah, I feel like they wanted to round it out, like round it
yeah,
off kind of
yeah,
thing. Yeah. And I think it was probably supposed to be joyful
yeah,
after the stress of what had come before. That's all I could kind of,
yeah.
yeah, put to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I did like the Bird Box challenge and they told me to, yeah, just walk through like the New Forest or walk through or like Upton Country Park
I
and
would
walk.
even walk through the New Forest without one on
Exactly.
in case I get lost.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if I can handle that. Especially like
No,
wherever she was, like in the mountains of Canada or wherever she was, it's like bears and foxes,
yeah.
wolves.
That rope, like
Yeah,
things like that, so that even the kids could do it and
yeah,
like
yeah,
follow it down and know where to go and stuff. Like I was just like, oh, it kind of got my mind sort of racing. Oh, how would I do that?
yeah,
Or what would I think? Oh God, yes, you'd have to take that into account. And
yeah.
yeah.
Would I have to sit down to pee all the time? Like,
Yeah, good one.
how would I know if I finished wiping?
My drips. My drips.
All right, yeah. So I had other films that, well, some of my honorable mentions were I had Bullet Train. She wasn't
Yes.
in enough to like.
No, but it is a great film.
Yeah, I had Speed, of course. I had Speed on my number
You
three,
had mentioned
and
that,
because I
yeah.
had it in Keanu week, I
Yeah.
thought I'd leave it out. But obviously, Speed was the film where I first fell in love with her.
Ocean's 8 again for me,
Ocean's
but
Eight.
we had that for HBC, so
Yeah, I had obviously the Unforgivable, which you had
good. Yeah,
as
loved
your
it.
number three. The Proposal, which was cool with Ryan Reynolds.
So cute. Yeah. She was good at those. So like the proposal, what did I have? 2 weeks notice and hope floats, all
Yeah,
kind of her little, rom
yeah.
commy. What about Gravity? Did you put Gravity in?
I don't think I've seen Gravity.
Oh, okay.
And
I
was there
did put
anything
it in.
else? Bird Box, Ocean's 8.
What about the net?
No, I don't think I've seen
Oh,
in
I did
that.
like her in that.
Okay. I've say I had
Top, but you still like her in it. She's like a
yeah, I had
computer
the
genius.
Congenialities in
Oh, I
there.
love them.
And of course I had the Heat, which obviously has Melissa McCarthy in,
Yeah.
which was
And also one of her most recents, I had because I also love Tatum,
oh yeah, I haven't seen that
Lost
one yet.
City. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, it's really good
I've
fun. I've seen it like 3 times.
I've seen parts of it. I walked in and I think my stepdaughter was watching it and I think I was doing something, so I didn't really get a chance to sit down and fully watch
Oh,
it.
it's just good fun,
Yeah,
Sunday afternoon or something, chuck it on.
yeah. Yeah, because yeah, it looked quite fun, so I'll definitely check it out at some point. All right.
You done?
So, what have you been watching?
So many things. So I don't know if you remember, but the week before you went away,
Yeah.
we had spoken about Shutter Island and the fact
Yeah,
that I
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. The fact
it.
you haven't seen it, yeah. And I said to you, has anyone spoiled it for you yet? And you said no.
No.
So
And so I watched it and it was really good.
crazy, right?
So crazy. And I said to my sister, so at the end, like he has that little sentence, doesn't he?
Yeah,
And so you think when they're on the step at the end,
yeah,
and Gruffalo's like, oh, so blah blah blah. And he's like, yeah, where we going, mate? And then he looks over and he's like, but then he says,
yeah,
what's worse, to live as a monster or to die as a good man?
yeah, yeah,
And so he was good, but he
yeah,
didn't want to live as a monster.
yeah, yeah. It's mad.
But
Like,
he didn't go because that's what he said he wanted. I was like, oh my God.
yeah. How quickly did you take you to? At what point did you notice the twist or the change?
So I guess I it was really tricky because at first you're like, did he kill them?
Yeah,
Was it him that
yeah,
killed them? And then I thought one of the ladies in there was her.
yeah,
So I kept thinking, I was like, does he just not remember her?
yeah,
And then I was thinking, I honestly couldn't tell you. I'm
yeah,
not sure I could tell you when. I maybe when actually maybe when he was in the cave with that lady
yeah,
had escaped and she said it's all for you or it's all
yeah,
about you or something. Um yeah. It was so, and then when he ended up in his office and then I
yeah,
was like, oh,
yeah,
Ruffalo's not
yeah,
and sometimes their relationship was a bit weird, but
yeah, yeah,
they got around that by them being new partners. So you thought, okay,
yeah,
well, they just don't know each other that well or whatever.
yeah,
How he didn't win a fucking award for that
yeah.
movie is beyond me. That is ridiculous.
I
Like
know.
DiCaprio did brilliantly.
I wonder if when they done the TV show Moon Knight, if they used hints from that to make a couple of those scenes.
Hmm. Um, so was Moonlight with Bruce Willis?
No, Moon Knight was the Disney one,
What?
the Marvel one, Marvel Moon Knight.
Oh my God, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I was like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah,
I don't think I finished that first series.
yeah,
Yeah. Sorry, now I
but
know
yeah,
what you're talking about.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I think a few of those like scenes where he's talking to himself and there is in the sort of the psychiatric ward,
Mm,
and I feel like they maybe he probably watched that to get an idea of how
yeah.
to project the character.
It was brilliant. I felt so desperately sorry for him
Yeah,
because you just again you understand.
Yeah.
I mean, she was so far gone, bless her,
Yeah.
like it was awful. And so he already blames himself for her being like that. And then the
Yeah.
fact he kills her on top of that,
Yeah. Yeah.
although it happened all in the moment, and he's in this despair of grief because he's just
Yeah.
put fucking kids dead out of a lake.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
She's
mad.
off her face.
Yeah. It's mad.
It's such a good, especially seeing how long ago it was.
Yeah.
What a really clever look into like mental health
Yeah.
things in a much more
Yeah, we say like because you could think about like someone having a complete mental break, or when people have to place in mental blocks just to survive.
yeah, yeah, like this compartmentalization
Yeah,
or and I what yeah, loved it.
yeah,
Really glad nobody spoiled it.
yeah. I think in like 30 years or so, when they look back at certain things, parts of like mental health, and they'll be like, "Is that how you dealt with this? You just gave them pills for something that you could have done this with, or
Yeah,
or even like back in the day when they just like lobotomize people, or like you know." Even like people who had Down syndrome and all that sort of stuff would literally be put in an asylum.
yeah, and things like conversion therapy that is
Yeah,
still legal
yeah,
in X amount of states in America.
yeah,
That is how mental the world still is with
yeah.
regards to, you know,
It's I don't use the word crazy, but it's crazy. Talk about it's crazy
yeah,
how certain things are dealt with. And
yes. So I did more.
yeah,
I binged Bridgerton series 3.
oh yeah. I
Happy with
don't
that.
know if I could ever get into Bridgeton, but I know a lot of people do enjoy it.
Yeah, well, you know me, I'm not a period drama gal.
Yeah,
But I had done 1 and 2, mostly because there are some good looking people in there,
yeah,
which
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of get you through. Um, but I love the main lady, so the Nicole Coughlin, I think her name is
Yeah,
Coughlin. Um, she's just lovely in real life. So
yeah,
yeah, this was kind of all about her in this
yeah.
one. So yeah, binged that. That was good. I watched A Family Affair on Netflix with Zac Efron and Nicole Kidman
How many
and Joey King.
have I seen that?
It's new. It's really new. It
Okay,
probably
no.
came out when you were on holiday, I think.
Okay,
So, yeah. I think that was all right. It
yeah,
was again sort of silly comedy.
yeah.
Um,
Nicole Kidman playing his part?
Mum,
Mom, okay, cool.
who
Yeah,
is the love interest of her boss,
yeah,
which is the famous actor
yeah,
that
yeah,
Zac Efron plays.
yeah, yeah,
He's such a knob.
yeah.
He's supposed to be, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's fun.
yeah.
And then I watched, oh my God, I've got 3 other things. This
Oh
is
yeah.
literally, you'll
This
be like, do you
this is good.
even work,
Yeah.
Deb? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's because I'd had a really busy weekend the
Yeah.
previous weekend. So I literally stayed in like Friday, Saturday, Sunday last week. I didn't talk to anyone. I was a little hermit.
Yeah.
Um, but I watched, so the guy from The Dry,
Yeah.
I forget his name, and the ginger girl from Stranger Things,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
they're in this cult thriller called Sacrifice.
Okay.
Again, I'm pretty sure it's only like an hour and 40. So you know,
Okay.
like my under 2 hour movies. Yeah, and he's the dad of her.
Yeah.
The parents are split up. She comes to stay with him in a foreign country, in like Berlin or something.
Okay.
Um, and she gets suckered into this cult,
Okay.
and then he obviously has to like rescue her, hopefully before
Yeah.
she gets it. Actually really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
Where was that? Netflix or Prime or Now
Oh,
TV? Sky? Okay, Now TV sort of thing. Yeah.
yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was like a Sky original one.
Okay.
And 2 more. I did a silly one called Pool Man with Chris Pine
Okay.
and Cally DeVito,
Okay.
where he is a haphazard pool man for a motel, like
Okay.
being like really seriously.
Yeah.
But he kind of stumbles upon, or he gets pulled into this big like heist that's
Okay.
happening. And so
Yeah.
the people doing it kind of try and use him
Yeah.
to kind of like make themselves get away with it because they think
Okay.
it's silly. But he, with his like friends,
Yeah.
which is Danny DeVito and this other lady. They kind of unfoil it and stuff.
Okay.
Again, really silly, but quite
Is it
funny.
quite recent or is it like an older
Yeah,
film?
yeah.
Oh
24,
God. I
2024.
think older Danny DeVito is hilarious.
Oh, he's lovely,
There's
isn't
something
he?
about him, like where his hair is now, and he's embraced that he's a lot older.
He
But it's
has.
he's
And he
so
plays
funny.
that. He plays that as this the
Yeah,
character. He's like he's one of his best mates, and
yeah,
DeVito's with the lady who I think is also famous, but I can't remember who she's called. And they're like his best friends.
yeah.
It's
Like
really
Danny
cute.
DeVito's like cadence when he speaks and stuff like that. He's just like he'll be like the coolest. He'll be like the coolest old man to live next door to.
Yeah, it's weird because he is also lovely.
Yeah, yeah. He's like a nice. He's like a grumpy, nice old man who just like
Yeah, yeah,
tell you stories and crack you up.
yeah. Um, oh, and then other than the Euros
Yeah, of
and
course.
Wimbledon,
Yeah.
love sporting summer. I did one more film with Michael Fassbender in it
Okay.
called A Killer or just Killer.
Yes, killer.
Um,
Yeah.
yes, where he's an assassin
Yeah, yeah.
who like, and it's one of those almost very singular movies where it's just him
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of the time, and he doesn't even really talk. It's a monologue of
Yeah.
what he's doing.
Awesome. Yeah.
So his voice, and but he's this assassin that has this really strict set of rules that he has to follow. But then the first time we see it, he fucks it up. And then it's like this demise
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the fact that he didn't quite tick off one of the rules. I thought it was probably half an hour too long. I did
Yeah.
get a little bit bored about 2/3 of the way through,
Yeah.
but I came back to it and did enjoy the
Yeah, and I think
endings.
that's on Netflix. Don't
Yes.
think I've seen it. I don't think I've seen it fully yet, but I've sometimes I see films happening in my house, and I sort of just when I'm busy doing stuff, I just sort of fleet in and
Like,
out. So,
oh,
yeah.
and that was
So
me.
I'll sit down and watch that. So obviously I was
I watched
away.
enough for the two of us.
Yeah. Obviously I was away. I didn't really get to see much, but I finished Human Resources, which
Oh
is
yeah.
which is still fucking hilarious to me.
Did it end how you were happy with?
Yeah, it was fine. It's an animation, so I mean they sort of just wrap it up in a certain way. Obviously, there might be another season. I'm not sure, but I don't know if I'd want to. Obviously, I want to see another season of Big Mouth, and I want
Yes.
another season this year. I ended up starting something else called Inside Job. I don't know why I keep doing
Okay.
it, but like Inside Job, I think you'd find funny. I think episode 4 you'd find hilarious.
Yeah.
Inside Job is kind of like Rick and Morty mixed with Big Mouth.
Oh, okay.
Like another animation, but it's based around. It's got Christian Slater is the main actor in it.
Oh, I like
He plays
Kristen.
he plays like the dad of a genius daughter, and it's all based around conspiracies.
He's got such a
So
recognizable voice, isn't he?
yeah, so it's all based around conspiracies and like the stories that are out there, like like shadow government, and stories that they'd say everyone thinks of as conspiracy, and the government is covering it up, and they like
Oh
they
yeah,
just
deep state.
deep state, yeah. So, so like
Oh,
loads of
keeping them a secret is a full-time job. That's
yeah,
so
yeah.
cool.
Like you need to watch it.
Yeah,
Like
that sounds really good.
it is so funny, some of the episodes. Yeah, so the
And I
daughter's like,
haven't done The Boys, sorry. So
okay.
that's what I will do this weekend instead. But I'm definitely going to have a look at that
Oh,
one.
you need to watch Inside Job. I can't believe I found it. It's like it just kept popping up. I've got a whole list of stuff to watch on Netflix, and then these animations just keep popping up, and that sort of style now. And obviously,
That's what it thinks you love now.
yeah, and obviously, I've still seen like your one that you mentioned, like Archer, is on there as well, and I'm just like,
Oh my
okay.
God, mate, brilliant.
I'm like maybe next, but then it's like,
I could probably just read that to you
yeah,
with all the different character voices.
yeah, yeah. So
Well,
yeah,
I felt sad, right? So the other, this is so weird. This won't make sense to anybody.
yeah,
Yesterday, I was on the sofa and Daisy was on me, and suddenly she must have had a tickly leg, and
yeah.
she put her foot, like her back leg, suddenly came
Yeah.
out, push in my face, and all I thought to myself was, "That is my foot in your face," and it sees that it's in episode 1 of Archer, and I just thought I can't even send it to anyone. No
Yeah.
one will find it funny.
Like some of the stories that Inside Jobs covered so far are like from what I've seen are just brilliant. They covered the moon landing. They cover
Okay.
There's one where they have to go back to the 80s. I don't want to spoil it. I ain't gonna spoil it, but like it's like there's a town in America. There's a town in America that they've set that they've got where they keep like spraying this stuff, and it's like it sort of represses people's like memories and stuff like that. So
Oh,
they've got this town that they've kept in the 80s. So
that's
what they
cool.
do is all the record stuff that was banned, like going forward, they just sell it to them. They still think they're in the 80s. They still think they're in the 80s. So they got like
I want
VCR,
to go there.
they got Blockbuster, yeah, like the
Yeah,
character,
best music ever.
yeah, one of the characters, like he really embraces going back to the 80s.
Same.
Yeah, and there's a character like which is kind of like an alien, and obviously, but he's like he's if you imagine like Roger or from like American Dad, like
Yeah.
he's like an absolute degenerate like alien. He gets found by these kids, and you think it's gonna have like a nice ET story, but he's such a complete asshole to them. And there's an episode like about flat Earth, and it's so good because obviously when I said to you a couple episodes back when I watched Godzilla, and I said to you about Hollow Earth being imagine Hollow Earth was
Mm.
real, and obviously in this they talk about Hollow Earth and what's in Hollow Earth is like what the fuck, like you shouldn't play with people who are open to conspiracy theories like this.
It's funny because it's almost like taking the piss out of
Yeah.
them, but
Yeah, and like some of the conspiracies that they, like the flat Earth one, where one of the main guys says, like, I started that as a joke just to see how gullible people are. And like he's part of all the groups
50
and like
years later.
yeah, he's part of all the groups and all the forums and stuff. And he like gets on and just feeds them like extra crap to do.
Hey, it's all it takes, right?
Yeah, and it's like so funny because they touch on a lot of like popular stuff now in it as well. So there's
Mhm.
like loads of references taken from like they could take a reference from like yesterday and put it in there.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh my God, you son of a bitch." Yeah, so definitely if you get a chance, please watch a few
That
episodes
looks really good.
of
Yeah, I
Inside Job.
will.
Other than that, I watched a movie called Sleepless with Jamie Foxx on Netflix,
Oh, I like Jamie Foxx.
which is, it's a
I feel
decent
like I would have
watch.
seen it.
It's a decent watch based around what you think is a corrupt police officer. Turns out he's yeah, I don't want to spoil it, not as corrupt as you think. Um, who's the main actress? It's a big time actress. Why can't I remember her name right now?
Oh yeah, with his little gang.
Yeah.
Has it got I was just to say it's got David Harbour in it.
Yeah, David Harbour's in it. He's
Loads of famous people.
yeah,
Yeah.
David Harbour's lost so much weight.
Good cast. Oh, I just love him.
I don't know
All
how.
of him.
Obviously, well, he started losing loads of weight in the last season from the last season of Stranger Things. So yeah, he looks really good in this. The
We don't
Michelle
even
Monaghan,
care if he doesn't lose it.
yeah, Michelle Monaghan, she's great in it.
Yeah.
He reminds me a bit of Sandra Bullock actually.
Mm. Yeah,
Mm.
there's some really good people.
Yeah, so it's most of it is quite most of the film is set in one place, but it has reasonably good action scenes. It's a it's a decent watch.
Yeah.
It's not gonna
I'm
blow
sure
your
I
hair.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's not gonna blow your hair back or anything. But with the acting chops of who's in it,
Yeah.
it's a good watch.
And he's trying to find his kid, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Which always makes for a tense, like
yeah.
you've got to back them.
Especially the way his kid goes missing. Yeah.
Aw.
All right, so let's jump on to some screenshots.
Cool.
Not the most lively ones we have today,
No.
but we did say a few people did pass away recently. Um, One of them, obviously, we did mention before, was Donald Sutherland,
So
who,
sad. That's so sad. God, the guy has got, I mean, there must be hundreds of movies
yeah,
and things that he's produced over the years.
yeah. I remember we did say we were thinking about doing top three for him, but we obviously didn't get around to it. But
Mm.
I'm always gonna remember him in a film called Attack of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
And there's that one scene where obviously he's been taken over and they're running away and he starts doing this pointing them out and he just starts making this weird noise out of his mouth like was like, oh my, that's creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Body Snatchers for me was like was
He's done so much.
one hell of a movie.
Mm. And just always seemed like such a nice, lovable guy, like
Yeah,
such a solid actor,
yeah. And obviously,
always had an air about him.
mm.
Mm.
And he was a good in obviously I wasn't a huge fan of the Hunger Games, but obviously he's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. June was crazy. Obviously three
It just
three
kept coming.
big time deaths in like June for like
I know. I was like, oh my God.
and then the other one you sent me was Martin Mull.
Yep.
You know, I most time I was trying to think when I off the top of my head, but I was trying to remember where he was always quite funny. I always remember him being funny.
Yes. Yeah. Quite offbeat, like
Yeah,
silly, funny. Yeah.
and I think that most if I had to think about where I remember his face the most, I think it was probably when I used to watch Sabrina, Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
That's where I remember him the most. And then obviously if you go back, obviously he was in the film like he was in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yep.
He was in the film Mr. Mum. But he was in that era where these guys may have been in their mid-30s, but they looked like they were in the 70s.
Yes. Yeah. They always had that grown up look about them, didn't they?
Yeah, like
That you
very grown.
definitely don't get now.
No,
Most of people look so much younger,
yeah,
and they like a 50-year-old could play like a 20-year-old.
yeah. No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So like was it was it Steve Martin from
Yeah.
like him? He was like in certain roles, I think when he was playing like Chief by the Dozen, he was only like early 40s,
Yeah.
but he looked what his age is now. I think Steve Martin's like 78. He looked 78 back then.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's happened.
Yeah.
Have they put something in the water or
Yeah.
taken it out?
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, Martin Mull. Yeah, I just remember him being like in whatever he was in, he just had that very like he had a very comedic presence,
Yeah.
And then you had Bill Cobbs.
Yeah.
Now I remember him, well, I think to think person that popped in my head with him was the film Night at the Museum, because he's a lot older in that film when that came out.
Yes. And he
But
was old. He's an old boy in it,
yeah, yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
He's one of those he comes from the era of Morgan Freeman where like they were born at 75.
Do you also know what other film he was in?
Uh he was in Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which he also looked very old.
Yeah. I actually think he has got one of those faces,
Yeah.
though, that kind of just made him look grown up,
Yeah.
an adult, like just the whole time.
Yeah, he was born at 40.
Oh, again, he always played a character that had a presence,
Yeah,
an air,
yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit not noble or anything like that,
No,
but just
you knew he
yeah,
was there. You knew he was
more
there.
of a good person
Yeah,
than
yeah.
yeah.
And obviously he was in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh my God, I've not seen that for
I
years.
know. And if you go back like
Wow.
again like Mackay Pfeiffer, he looked like a child back then.
I was just I was just scrolling through IMDb to see some stuff right that he's in. Agents of Shield has got old man.
Yeah.
Excellent work in
Yeah.
2020, mate. Well done.
Old man. Well, Brilliant.
Oh, but yeah, sad
Yeah.
again. A very recognizable face.
Yeah, sad times, but like but great bodies of work from like all three of these gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right, so let's finish off with an upbeat one. Well, one of them was Prison Break. You said it was Prison Break stars Dominic Purcell and Wentworth Miller to reunite in a hostage
Yeah.
recovery drama called Snatchback.
Oh, I am not against it.
Yeah, my brother was a huge fan of Prison Break.
I loved it. Honestly, I really, really loved it. Yeah, I've actually done the whole of them like a couple of times, which
Yeah.
is quite an effort. Like it's a lot of episodes and a lot of seasons, and you're like, oh. But I did enjoy it. So I'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
two cuties.
I don't think I've seen enough episodes of it, but yeah, my brother and my sister both love it. Got my DVD and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So for those of you who are Prison Break fans, look out for this. Last time I saw Wentworth Miller was when he was playing Captain Cold in The Flash.
Yeah, it was a very like exaggerated
Yeah,
character, wasn't it?
yeah,
Like he was very like OTT with it, but I liked how his brain worked in
yeah,
Prison Break. And I loved how beefy
yeah,
Vinny
yeah,
was. So
yeah. I remember what's his name, Bassel from when he was in Blade as Dracula.
oh, well, do you know
But
what? I actually liked everyone pretty much that was in Prison
Blade
Break.
3.
I loved the guy whose kid was poorly.
Yeah,
I can't remember the names in there. I watched it a million times. And I
yeah,
loved Michael's best mate,
yeah.
like the South American-y
Oh
guy.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, loved them all.
All right. So this week, hopefully, I get to see bike riders. I want to see.
Oh yeah, my friend Tim at work saw it. He said it was yeah, you enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah.
So the
Oh,
Kevin Costner Western one was a bit weird.
okay. Yeah, I've seen
But
people talk about that one. That looks interesting. But then obviously I haven't seen the show Yellowstone, where I think he's in
I
another show.
have that he said it was very choppy changey, and you
Yeah,
were like, I think if you hadn't seen that,
yeah.
you probably shouldn't bother
Okay,
to watch it because it was quite confusing, I think, for people. So yeah.
okay. All right then. Let's wrap it there, people. All right. It's good to be back after a holiday after a holiday.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be back again for you guys next week with another top three. We'll
Oh
find.
yeah.
I wonder
You
who it's
gonna
going to
get
be.
someone to give it to us this time?
I'll get someone to give us
Okay.
see who we can find. All right, everyone. Follow us on all socials. That's X, Facebook, Instagram. We are on Spotify if you just want to listen to the Audible, and if you just want to see Debbie's lovely face.
If you do not want to look at us.
Yeah, and if you want to see Debbie's lovely face, join us on YouTube. All right, everyone, be good. And if you can't be good, be the best at being bad. Bye-bye.